things that you noticed as you were doing your warm-ups? What are the things you notice about your voice and your body? What are you feeling and noticing as you're singing? Anything. Was everything effortless? No. Okay, so what kind of not effortless is there? Okay, so some of it, yeah, well, we're going to unfortunately do a good bit of that tonight. So I'm afraid the brain, ultimately, the brain is your best friend, right? What would happen if you were designed and built like an optimal acoustic resonating instrument, just like a cello, and your only job was to be structurally still and think your way through your artistry? Wouldn't that be fun? That's not how it feels, though, is it? No. So how does it feel? So what do you notice? What kinds of body things are going on while we're singing? Posture, physical body. You notice things in the physical, how you're standing. Yep. What else? Anything in the throat? Ever? Like what? What do we notice?
Tension in the throat.
Tension in the throat. Yes, we notice tension. What else do we notice in the throat? Phlegm is your friend. Yes, but yes. Okay, you notice that you'll go towards some notes and they just go off. Yep, to the left field or right field or wherever they go. Yep. What else?
Vibrato.
Vibrato. We hear vibration in the sound. Anybody ever hear air in your sound? Like a hissing or a feeling of some kind of air that's like the quality of the sound that you're making sometimes is breathy?
I've heard it, but I don't do it.
Okay, anybody ever notice a rattle? Basses, singing a low note, and suddenly it doesn't want to coordinate, and it's not quite vibrato, but it's not exactly stable. Okay, cool. So, how many of you have ever heard the term bel canto? Okay, what does it mean? Yes, Elaine has heard it, so she can't answer this question. Bill has heard it, and Marcia has heard it, so they could not answer this question. What does it mean, bel canto, in Italian? Beautiful something.
Beautiful singing.
Beautiful singing. It means beautiful singing. Okay. But what we, specifically in my case, bel canto is from the early 1800s, 1800 to 1840. This predates anything that we currently know today as singing technique. This is pre. So who came along in the mid-1800s that changed music forever?
Mozart?
In Italy.
Oh, Italy.
Opera changed dramatically in the mid-1800s.
Verdi?
Puccini, before pre-Verdi. Okay, Puccini changed things. So, I want you to think about this. So, virtually vibrato-less sound that you can control for up to 16 measures on one breath with absolute tonal accuracy, connected, relentless legato line, and absolute effortless singing, free singing. What does that sound like?
A miracle.
Yes, and it also sounds like the demands of barbershop. Okay, so this is sort of I'm going to just tell you the really quick funny story, which is my father was a barbershopper trained under the Suntones and the 1961 gold medal champs in South Florida.
Yeah.
So my dad was a baritone. Where are the baritones? Okay, so you already know. It was like, relentless minds, good minds, right? So my dad was a baritone, trained under the Suntones, and wanted me to be a barbershopper. And at 16, I wasn't having any of it. I'm like, no, I'm going to go learn how to sing, and I'm going to go have a career as a professional singer, and then we'll talk about it someday. Someday happened 30 years later. So I went. I was trained in bel canto. I became a professional. I sang on Maui for 12 years as a professional singer, started teaching people how to do this, which we're going to work on tonight, and then came back into barbershop 10 years ago, or 9 years ago now, and discovered that the way I'm trained is a really good way to get the voice to work for barbershop. Are you game to suspend reality for one night, which basically means that all the things that we think we know about how this works, could you suspend that for a little bit and play with me?
Yeah, sure.
How many of you all like, I'm sorry, what's your first name? Terry. Terry. The brain thing is just too much sometimes, just too much. Anybody else? Like, ah! Okay, so I will keep you all in mind. We'll just do stuff every once in a while, and then we'll ask you how you feel. Okay, so you all remember when I came into your rehearsal and we did the little trick for your thing, by the way, which worked great. The next day I listened to you, I was like, yay, they're doing it. Okay, so I want to tell you why, now that we have the time, okay? So exhale for me. very gently, and inhale for me gently. And that's like the expansion, and then exhale, and the body basically collapses, right? And then we inhale again, and out, and then there we go, right? So there's this motion that we have, even in our minds with the singing that we're doing right now, where we breathe in, and what is that air gonna do? That air is gonna use up all the way across the phrase, right? So we fill a tank, we're gonna take that tank of air, and we're gonna flow it across the whole breath, and at the end of the phrase, we are out of air. And then we go back to the station, fill it up again, and we do that for the rest of our lives ad nauseum. And the first question I'm gonna ask you is, what if that's not how it works?
Learn a different way.
Well, be open to the possibility that the problems that you're facing and that you're having, and the sound problems and the things that we're having in the sound, are directly related to this concept. That is not how the vocal folds work. So, when Pavarotti was trained to control his air, does anyone know how he was taught to do so? His teacher lit a candle, put it in front of his mouth, and would have said what?
Don't blow it out. Don't blow it out. Don't blow it out.
Don't move it.
Don't move.
All right, now think about this, ladies, right? Big old breath, lots of forward propulsion, and this big voice that he had was told to not move the flame. Something was happening between here and here that was controlling his air regulation. What you did with your pelvic floor was that control. However, I want to see if I can show you something else tonight too. Okay? So now you're going, well, how is that possible? Exactly right. How is that connected to that? All right, so exhale for me. I love this part. It's like, what? All right, inhale and hold your breath. When you hold your breath, what do you feel? Yep, release. You felt, yes, and we all think we can't talk while we're holding our breath. Well, let me prove you wrong. Exhale for me. Inhale gently. Hold your breath. Yes.
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 Yes, now you can release. Okay, so you just have this like, oh, well, how does that work? Okay, good. So exhale again. I need you to notice something and breathe in and hold. All right, what's happening right here? It's stabilizing, yes? And you're not really feeling any motion. Okay, exhale again. Do it one more time. Hold. What do you notice in your throat?
It's open.
It feels open, doesn't it? Okay, exhale again. But something is closed. What's the primary job of your vocal folds? To vibrate, to make sound, to make tone. What if that's not it? Physiologically, your vocal folds are designed for another more important purpose than you singing. What could that possibly be?
Keep the air from
Yeah,
flowing
choking
out.
is one, and the
Air
other
from flowing out.
vice versa. So if we're choking is one problem associated with the throat, what's the other? When's the only time you would have to hold your breath?
Drowning.
Yes, your vocal folds are designed to save your life. Okay, now if you can get there, you can get to the next piece. Okay, so that means they closed. Exhale again. Inhale again. Hold. So your throat feels open, but something's closed, and what's closed that you can't feel is your vocal folds. We're gonna play with this tonight. Okay, so release. Okay, cool. So now I gotta ask you one more $1 million question. When you're singing, are your vocal folds connected and together or separated?
They're
And open.
separated and open. Aren't they vibrating?
Okay, so if we're singing and our vocal folds are separating and opening, what is that in the sound? Vibrato. What don't we want in our barbershop sound?
Vibrato.
Bingo! Okay, good. All right, so ding, 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 ding. Okay, so cool. So now how the heck do we do this without thinking about it too much? All right, so exhale for me. Inhale for me. Hold. The engagement of the body, the suspension of the body, the sustainment of the body sustains the gentle air pressure underneath your vocal folds that makes the mechanism work. I can change your life if I can get you to feel it. All right? Tenors will love me after this is over. Okay, so release.
I was going to say, can I breathe now?
Yeah, you can. But here's the thing. This is not going to make sense to your mind, all right? Just think of me as a paradigm shifter. However, how many of you all are concerned about the fact that your voices are not behaving like they did 20 years ago? Good. how would you like to get those years back?
Yeah.
Tonight, in the next hour. Boom! Okay, so here, that is basically the promise of this work. I was telling them a story about a quartet I'm working with an 83-year-old lead who is singing like she's 40 again, and she's over the moon. So we just have to be willing to play, all right, with some body mechanics, and then we'll break it down as simply as we can, all right? So, Bill, let's start with summertime. Now, do you direct summertime, or do you direct summertime?
I don't direct anything.
You don't? All right, so let's just do, I'm gonna have you stand up. Now, I'm gonna have you just sing as you would, all right? And then we're gonna just add little bits and see what happens to your feeling in your body.
What are we singing?
Oh, summertime. That summer when we were young, or summer long ago, or whatever.
Yeah.
Summertime, the time I should have said I love you so, so long ago.
Okay, pause. Okay, good. So now, in your body, when you're singing, how far out of your body are you trying to get your sound? How far away from you would you say? Laying at back wall. Who else?
Yeah, they used to tell us to sing.
To sing to the back wall. But even just right now, how far are you going to try to get your sound?
To you.
To me, or to your director,
Yeah.
right? Okay, cool. So I want to try something. Everybody take your thumb. Hopefully you've washed your hands recently. I have. All right, I'm going to give you another little tiny target. All right, it's in alignment, so everything that Marcia is saying to you is part of this process, okay? So all the things you've already got in your mind, good, yay. We're just going to play with your engine and how you're using your instrument, all right? Here's your teeny tiny target, all right, behind your lovely forward lift we'll discuss in a moment. Here we go. Let's try that again. You may take your fingers out of your mouth. That's right. Here we go. New target.
Summertime, the time I should have said I love you so, so long ago.
And what did you notice? Harder or easier? Easier. Easier. What did you happen to notice what happened in the sound immediately?
It was sparkler.
It was,
richer.
yeah, there was more ring, natural ring in the sound, and suddenly we are starting to become amplifiers. So I am designed as an optimal acoustic resonating instrument built to amplify sound without force. Okay? Without force, which means our whole playground is about to shift, okay? So now exhale for me, ladies. Gently. For purposes of this experience, I want you to inhale more laterally. You're going to breathe in as if you're expanding your body sideways. And you feel sort of an expansion across your back when you do that, okay? So one more time. Exhale. Inhale, expanding. All right, and then I'm going to have you hold. So what I'm going to have you do is you're going to breathe in and you're going to hold your body open in that position while you sing a phrase, and then pop your body back open as if you were a physical cello. I'm a cello, I'm a cello, 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 and then I'm going to pop back open to be a cello again. Okay, here we go. I have.
I'm going to give you breath up, hold, sing.
Perfect.
Okay? Exhale.
Summertime, the time I should have said I love you so, so long ago.
What'd you notice?
Hold them a lot longer. Yeah.
Well, now isn't this interesting? Less air produces more sound
There was a lot more sound.
almost immediately. Almost immediately. So, are you all familiar with Millennium Magic Chorus and Sweet Adelines? Okay, in Nashville, that was their first gold medal, I believe, with a Thriller package, Harmony Classic. So we got 2 Harmony Classic Golds and 1 Harmony Classic Silver for their Seuss package. I've been their coach since 2011, all right? And I was saying to Bill right before we started, you guys have exactly the same number of women as Millennium Magic. And the difference is you have a director, they do not. They work with directorless, but so that, just saying, you know, there's possibilities here. And no, I'm saying that it might be better with a director. But in terms of demographics, they look exactly like you. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so can we play with this for a second? Did anyone happen to notice that it felt that you didn't feel anything in your throat while you were singing?
Yeah.
Nada. Zip. Okay. The thing that causes tension in the throat is irregular air force across the mechanism, your vocal folds that are trying to do this while you want them to do that. So when we push forward on our sound, let's just try it. Here, let's see if you can feel it. Your throat's gonna try to start to grab. So now we're gonna have you just push your sound towards me a little bit.
Take a nice big breath.
Yes, as big as you like.
Big breath and start it, okay? Air out.
We're setting you up.
Here we go. Big breath.
It goes wacky. It goes wacky. It's like suddenly the sound goes.
There wasn't as much sound.
And there wasn't as much sound. This is weird. That's exactly right. We have individuals' voices sticking out in the mix. We have this ship of fools. It's like going unstable. There's kind of weird hissing that happens in the sound and rattling and stuff. Okay, so here's the thing. Nothing that I'm telling you or sharing with you tonight is going to make any sense, and there's no reason why you should ever know this, because this understanding is almost extinct. I feel incredibly blessed that I got this work and it gave me my professional career. But now to be in barbershop and helping amateur singers actually get control at this level is like, oh, so much fun. So please know, I'm not a critical listener. I know everybody in this room has a beautiful voice, but if it's not coming out of you that way, there's a reason. And it has to do with this engine that's pushing on you. All right? Anybody notice that you felt different in your throat that time? Tension in the throat. So if the vocal folds know what they're doing and there's intelligence in your body, which I believe there is, the brain is sending signals, you're just the conduit. As soon they're trying to do this and you're doing this, and as soon as that happens, you're going to feel tension and constriction in the throat.
You're fighting it.
Yes, and unfortunately, ladies, you're causing it your own self. There's nobody out here that's causing your discomfort. You know?
I thought we were talking.
Right. Yeah. No. Okay, so come back. So let's see if we can put this together again. All right. So cool. Going in a good direction. Let's go. Let's put it back together. So exhale for me gently. All right. So inhale gently and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release. And then again. I'm going to give you 20 to 30 years back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release. And one more time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release. Okay, I need a volunteer for 1 second. Anybody? I'm not going to make you do anything. I want you to feel something. Here. Okay, I'm going to have you feel my ribs. I want you to describe to them what happens when I breathe. Okay, so breathe in. And then I'm going to engage. And now I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to say, so what's your name?
Diane.
Diane, nice to meet you. And what are you noticing is happening in my body while I'm talking to you?
Nothing.
Got it. Okay. Okay, let's try this. Everyone take the diva position. All right, they weren't doing something besides looking pretentious, ladies. They were actually keeping their vocal folds connected. All right, so exhale for me. And inhale gently. Now pull your hands in opposition. And what happened? What did you feel? Anybody notice you get a little engagement right across? Well, the bra strap. All right, here we go. You don't have one of those. You may go get one if you like, but exhale. All right, one more time. Breathing in and pull. You feel an engagement right there. Okay, so let's just do this. We're going to do the diva stance, And now, aha, one target here, summertime, here we go.